It is March 15th, 2024. Told you yesterday in Bueller's in Akron by the register, some guy's on the phone. I told you what that officer did. Well, my date with him, how horribly it went wrong, and him pulling my hair, uh, asking me for sexual favors, threatening to rape, take me by force. Do you want me to pull your hair, take you by force, knock you down, do you hard, and take total control? It's like, no, don't worry, by cop. I almost, and then uh, it was so horrible, and he kept saying stuff like that and pulling my hair. And then he's like, I'm going to fall asleep. I'm going to fall asleep. And then he tries to take me to a hotel and saying that crazy crap again. I'm like, no, I'm not going in there with you. He's like, I have to find a place to pull over and fall asleep. He's on something. Pulls over and he's like, don't leave me. And I'm thinking, as soon as you pass out, I'm out of here. And then he grabs my hand and, puts it. And he's like, what? I'm like, no. He's like, you're going to have phone sex with me? You're going to do this? No! I already told you I found that disgusting. I have a list of girls, and you're falling down. I said, oh, you have a list of girls. Oh, they need to really be talking to his old girlfriends, and they need to be drug testing that bitch. He's a cop. And people aren't saying anything because they're afraid he's a cop. I'll tell you what. Soon as he passed out, I'm like, right before he passed out, I said, you need coffee? He's like, yeah, I need coffee. I said, why don't I go get you some? I said, I'll just walk over. Okay. That way he wouldn't say anything when I got out of the car. I thought, I almost got in the car, my car next to it, because he finally took me back to mine. I almost just took off. I waited till he was good and asleep. I went over and got coffee, and I'm texting my house manager, what a perv, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I got him coffee. I went back around. I put my coffee in my car. And I noticed I didn't get the cream. I walked back over, and I'm still pacing. And I'm thinking about calling 911. But what am I going to say to a cop? An officer took me out for dinner. He's assaulted me and pulled my hair. And threatened to rape me. And he's been talking perverted. Now he passed out. I think he's on drugs. Is your problem? See you bye? He's passed out in the seat. He's only had unsweetened iced tea with lemon. I told you I retrocrossed the passenger side, put the coffee in there, walked around the car, woke him up and said I'm leaving. I told you, well, I got turned around to get on that highway that goes to the other highway, and I swear it was him, going 30 miles an hour with his lights blinking, looked like he was crying, putting his head out the window. He was so wasted. I told you, my one friend, I asked him, I said, what kind of drug could he be on? Oh, he's probably that MDA where it's ecstasy mixed with other people. They are with other things. And it makes you real hungry, makes you aggressive, then you pass out. What fun would that be? That's not a fun romantic night. And I'll tell you what, I told my brother, he's like, you would report him to the supervisors. I'm like, he's like, and I told the local police they need to drug test that bitch. They didn't talk to his old girlfriends. He's got a list of girls. There's a whole potential rape victims. I went into Maslin. Some guy showed up. He was on the phone, said the guy's name, and said he thought she was cheap and easy, and we were all going to show up and act like he was setting up a gang rape. No one was going to help her. My God. I've already been gang raped before. That's not funny. Well, yesterday in Bueller's, some guy was on the phone. He said nobody thought it was funny. That officer knew better than ever put his hands on her with what's going on. He said him pulling her hair and saying all that stuff to her, he knew better. Karen's will is still open, and we know that. And the ones investigating didn't find it funny, that officer pulling her hair and saying all that stuff to her. Okay? He said, he said they're trying to prove that the police up there were the ones breaking the law, breaking in her house and harming her before, that it was the police doing it. And that they were breaking the law. And they were the ones drugging her and harming her. He said, I talked to our son, John,
Those kids were only making everything up because they wanted that girl to get the house and they wanted her to give up everything, and that's it. And he feels bad, and she probably won't talk to him ever again in his life because those kids were making stuff up for her to give up everything. And that I asked her son John, she's never hurt anyone before, and those kids were only making everything up. Well, of course, they were only making everything up. They got caught by the police saying they were making everything up. They were games of pretend. They caught Melissa telling them to lie, Flora telling a bunch of adults that it was mean games of pretend. And he said her son John said that she's never hurt anyone before, and that so did Josh and the rest of them. And those kids were just making stuff up for her to give up everything for that girl, and that none of this is funny. And I happen to know that they don't have her taped saying that she hurt anybody, that they made all that up too. That goes back to March 13th, 21, Mercy Medical. The only thing they had on her was adjusting yourself. Guy said that's sick. Said no, she just simply wiped off water with clothes on. He said that's sick. She said no, she just brushed it off. They didn't have anything else. That's where a lot of people had it until where I had the bruises before, throwing up, heart racing, infected. They were roofing me and telling me to say something stupid. They photoshopped everything back in and out, the fake confessions where you're sleepwalking. That's how sick these people are. Dave told Danny he hired Pete on his own. Pete is Alex in a beard, and it's that gay, and it's that stripper's brother. It's a drug cartel getting even with the Portage County Sheriff's trying to get him arrested. Judge Stephen Ludick, Judge Stephen up there, and Judge Timothy Ludick and retired Judge Pete, they're trying to get him arrested for violating and exploiting women and children. And they're trying to get the Portage County Sheriffs arrested for drug beating, raping people, and human trafficking for selfish gain. Like they've told you before, there can't be a tape before. It's illegal to be in somebody's home. Dave can't hire Pete on his own. The police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. They've been trying to prove the sheriffs are exploiting people for personal gain and that they were the one drug beating, raping me. Oh, if you could prove that, I'd be a millionaire. There's police abuse attorneys. The guy said that's why none of the police will talk to him because they're trying to prove those other police officers were the ones breaking the law and drug beating, raping her. And they were the ones harming her. It was a drug cartel. They're trying to frame everyone up there and get them arrested. I'm going to upload this.